I I started with the Students Federation of India that was actually formally launched in 1970 during the summer vacation period. Then I had only completed my degree, and it was that before I joined my PG in economics, and I remember very heartily. I remember that it was Comrade P. Sundaraya who inaugurated the foundation of Students Federation of India. I was the district president of Kerala Students Federation. Some 2 years before that, I have been there, and I joined the central government in 1975. That I mentioned about my formal joining of the left student movement, and actually the 70s, and the 60s, very important for the world, and also for India, and also for students and youth at that time. And if I see, actually 70, I think 74, there was the railway strike in India,
Yeah,
1974.
very
I
important
think Vietnam
Vietnam also 868.
also ended in 1974. 1974. And 75, Indira Gandhi declared emergency. I think I already mentioned that I joined the government just 1 month before the declaration of internal emergency in India. In fact, I had a brief association with the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. That was just 1 year. During that time, I remember the JP Andolan was going on, and we used to have meetings with young students and all. We used to have a question about the JP Andolan that was basically against unemployment and corruption and all those things. And starting from Gujarat, it had spread to Bihar also. We were abreast of all those developments. One important question, we as student activists and immediately coming out of the colleges and working in the left movement, one question we used to ask with JP used to raise was that JP do not have a blueprint for the future India, future society. That was a genuine question. I think it still remains. So cut short, to cut short the whole history, all developments of a long period, I would like to say something which, some observation which I have made very recently, particularly after I would also say after the victory of the Kisan Andolan in India. At the day on which the Kisan Andolan reached its victory point, there was a small meeting in Ernakulam where I was staying for the two plus years in Ernakulam during the COVID time and during that agitation period. I said one important thing, that is, I should say, the rhetorical language, I would say. I said one veteran of Indian, that JP movement was also present there. That was Dr. Advocate Tamban Thomas. He was very much associated with JP at that time and with the movement also. Still, at present, he is the national president of the Socialist Party India. He was the senior most person, and I was among the, not the youngest, but the middle order, one would say. I said one thing in basing on my Hindi background and activities and work in Delhi. I said, "Abhi to angdai hai, aage aur ladai hai." We said this is only the beginning, and the struggle is going to be more intense in the coming days. And it is something which we do remember and we will cherish. That is when the whole world was suffering and was put down by the COVID kind of thing, and the and the burden of capitalism and imperialism, the highest and the decadent, moribund phase of capitalism, is stamping down humanity all over the world, particularly in India. It is the people of India who stood up and achieved a historic victory, defeating the ruling structure of India. That is a historic thing, and that is what actually puts India in a unique position compared to all other parts of the world. So, in a meeting in which many veterans of the Kisan movement were there, in March 2000, April 2022 only, I addressed a meeting in Delhi, Gandhi Peace Foundation. Many veterans, particularly from the Gandhian socialist side, were there. I had to refer to JP's idea of total revolution and partyless democracy. And I linked our experience of fighting and resisting the Vajpayee regime, that was the NDA one, starting from 1998 to and ending in 2004. At that time, that was just during that period, the Gujarat genocide had taken place. I would use that word specifically, it was a genocide. After that only, the socialist Gandhian socialists of India, they started a Jaipur process, and it was during my suspension period, which Vajpayee government had inflicted on me for allegedly masterminding a conspiracy to destabilize their government. I have survived that because Indian people could survive and defeat that regime in 2004. I compared what the Gandhian socialist movement and the activists, the democratic activists like us, we together formed Rashtra Nirman Abhiyan Samadhi. Rashtra Nirman Abhiyan Samadhi. And I said JP in 1975-77, JP called for total revolution and partyless democracy. And in fact, the Kisan movement practiced that partyless democracy.
Yeah.
That's the unique experience for the people of India. And I said, whereas the same group of people, Gandhian socialists, thought of Rashtra Nirman maybe an alternative to finish this kind of attack on nationhood, attack on democracy, attack on human rights. All those people, the senior most people were there. Need not to take all the real inheritors of the Gandhian socialist movement, Indian democratic movement inheritors. Together they have decided, if they did not, and it was not true. It was not correct to say that even the Vajpayee regime destroyed Indian democracy. So there was a scope, and we thought there is a scope for Rashtra Nirman. Even JP's movement, we remember JP's movement was Navanirman movement. Navanirman, he had felt Navanirman even before Indira Gandhi imposed emergency. After emergency, only he talked about total revolution. Now, I said, we have put forward that idea in 2022-23. In this coming era, we need a JP21, not JP21 or 22, JP Jayaprakash movement 21. Here, the basic frame is total revolution and partyless democracy. We are in the process of defining total revolution in the present Indian context, where fascism has already become state fascism. It is our own seniors who very clearly understood that it was the Gujarat riots in February 2002 which signified the transformation of Indian fascism to state fascism. It is a very clear understanding of us. We don't waste much time about debating whether it is Hindu fascism or communal fascism or secular fascism and all that. Indian fascism, it is nothing new. Fascism is nothing new in India. It predates Hitler and Mussolini and all the European fascism it predates. There is no doubt that. Dr. Ambedkar had very clearly said, Manuvad. Manuvad is the basis of Nietzsche's philosophy and also the Hitler's philosophy.
Yeah.
About Hitler, Hitler's people only said that is Nietzsche in action.
Yeah.
He used to keep a bust of Nietzsche behind his, ruling office. This is all we have learned from Ambedkar. Ambedkar only explained to the people that it is Brahminical fascism which is ruling this country. In this period only we have even after UPA or Manmohan Singh came, we were very clear India's ruling class can only understood in terms of Brahminical fascism. The fight against Brahminical fascism is on, and now the problem is it is not simple Brahminical fascism. Brahminical fascism has totally integrated with global imperialist fascism. This is the biggest danger India is facing, and Indian people, Indian masses are determined to face it, destroy it, and defeat it. I don't want to make a lengthy speech, lengthy explanation. It is not necessary. The socialists, the Ambedkarites, the communists, the women's liberation, the environmentalists, all the democratic forces are joining hands, and we are sure we will defeat them. We will defeat them, state fascism in India, and we shall overcome.
Okay.
We shall overcome
We shall.
not only Indian fascism but imperialism too. It is twin enemy. It is only Dr. Ambedkar who said the twin enemy of Indian people is Brahmanism and capitalism.
Yeah.
Now it has integrated, both the forces integrated, and this is the biggest danger humanity is facing, and it is the task of the Indian humanity to stand up to it, face it, defeat it, and overcome it globally. Thank you.